So there we have it, you guys. If you followed my steps, this should be pretty easy. Yo, what is up, you guys? How's it going? It's your boy Zach Hsieh. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to draw a superhero arm step by step. If you're new here, welcome to the family. Make sure you subscribe and turn on post notifications because I'm posting every single day. As you guys can see, my throat kind of hurts because I'm sick right now, I think. But we are still on that daily grind, coming out with videos every single day just for you guys. I'm gonna be doing more tutorials in this style. I did one about the torso a few days ago, so I left the link in the description down below, so make sure you guys check that out. Also, comment down below what else you want to see next, what tutorial, what you're struggling with. I'll do anything, whatever's most requested, anything for the ZHC family. Also, thank you guys so much for 20,000 subscribers. I'm so thankful for you guys, and I love every single one of you guys. And with that being said, let's get right into the tutorial. So I'm gonna start off with the basic structure of the arm. As you can see, the shoulder, I just drew a circle. The upper arm, I just drew, well, it looks like a rectangle here, but it's actually a cylinder, and the forearm is a cylinder, and I will show you guys how to do the hands later. Over here, I'm showing you guys the three-dimensional structure of the arm, and this will kind of give me a guideline of how to shade it. I'm just shading it a little bit right now. As you can see, everything that's pointing away from the light is getting shadowed, and this is just a quick demo, not the final one. So you guys can kind of see how I'm going to approach it later and what's going through my head when I'm actually drawing this. And sorry for my voice. Again, like I said, I'm kind of sick and it's sounding kind of weird. Anyways, I'm starting the final one right now. As you can see, I'm starting with the circle again for the shoulder. And pretty much how I start is very similar to how I started the very basic shape, except for now there are a few wedges and bumps for the muscles. I'm kind of drawing out the tricep right now, I believe. There's just a little bump over there, and then I think that muscle that protrudes under the tricep is called the brachialis muscle. It just kind of comes out a bit. You will see me draw it later. Right now I'm just kind of roughing it in. And for the hand, it's a pentagon shape with a little wedge for the thumb. And this is actually kind of short, so later on in the tutorial you will see me erase it and redo the hand. Anyways, I'm going in with the tricep and bicep right now. I'm kind of just refining the shapes, making sure I get the correct shape of the muscle in, because before I start going into detail, I want to make sure I have all the shapes and all that ready. So you can just copy the little bumps I have. These bumps are just indicating the muscle, and there we go with the brachialis muscle. This is a really important muscle. It goes from next to the tricep and bicep all the way to the thumb. Well, it kind of disappears a bit, but it goes under a couple muscles and attaches to around where the thumb is. So this is a good place to indicate the other muscles, and behind it, those are the extensor muscles. The brachialis muscle kind of shows where the other muscles go. And here we go with the shoulder. It's just three heads. There's the front, there's the middle, and there's the rear deltoid. Now I'm kind of drawing in a few more bumps. I'm going in and kind of roughing out the hand a little bit more, and soon I will be able to start putting in some line weights. Okay, so here I go with the hand. I realized it was a little bit short, so I'm extending it just a bit. I'm doing the same thing as before, doing the pentagon, wedge for the thumb, and yeah, it's the same hand as before, except for now it's a little bit more extended out. And for drawing, I think it's always important not to settle with what you have, so if you think something's wrong, make sure you pull out your eraser and erase it, because chances are if it looks wrong, it's wrong. So just make sure you fix that in this stage before you go into any of the actual detailing, because once you start detailing, it's really hard to go back. Even though you could erase it, it's pretty hard since you have all the detail and hard lines in already. So now I'm going in with a few more line weights. As you can see, the light source is going to be from the upper left. I'm kind of just using a 2B pencil, I believe. It's a 2B mechanical pencil. It's a graph gear, and I'm just kind of getting in the shadows now. So whatever is going away from the light, I'm darkening up with the dark lead, as you can see over there. Going in with the bicep right now. Most of the bicep is facing away from the light source, so it's going to be one big thick line over there. Now the brachialis muscle kind of goes down too, so as you can see, the bottom will have a thick line as well. And for the right side of the arm, it's mostly going to be facing away from the light source, so I'm making sure those muscles are darkened up as well. Now we're getting into the extensors. I'm kind of just roughing them in, putting a few lines, not too many, because later we're going to be shading it, and there's a different technique I will show you guys for shading. The extensors kind of run down into the fingers. If you wiggle your fingers right now, you can kind of feel your extensors moving. So those are the muscles that go from around where the elbow is all the way down to your finger things. Yeah. Great anatomical term, Zach. Okay. So I think we should be able to start shadowing soon. Not sure where. Okay, so the shoulder looked a little bit big, so I'm making it a tiny bit smaller right now. Now we go into the hands. As you can see, I'm drawing circles for the knuckles. This kind of shows me where it is because I need to shade the knuckles as if they were like balls on the hand. So if you put your hand into a fist, you'll realize that they protrude out a lot, and you'll kind of just shadow them as if they were balls sitting on top of, what's that called, square or cube. And you'll realize there are extensors as well that come out from the knuckles. We will learn how to shade that too in just a moment when we start shading. And I'm extending the deltoid out a little bit because the deltoid is kind of part of the chest because it has similar attachment points. Okay, I think I'm almost done rendering it out. We should be able to start shading soon. And obviously the bottom of the hand is all going to be turned away from the light, so that part will have a thick line altogether. So here we go, starting in with the shading. I'm just shading it as if it was a three-dimensional shape, so whatever is facing away from the light, I'm making sure I shadow it in. And it's a little bit harder shadowing with the mechanical pencil than it is with my normal Staedtler 2mm, but it's not bad as well. And right now I'm trying to do a few more striations. Usually for striations it makes the arm look a lot more muscular, but at the same time if you place it incorrectly it can look really wrong, like what I'm doing over here right now. So as you can see, later on I'm going to erase that and change it. For the striations, everybody has, okay, so there I go, trying to erase it. Everybody has different striations and it's not going to be the same one for everybody, so it's just kind of something you have to play around with. You place it, if it looks right, you can keep it, or if you just like it, you can keep it. But a lot of the times, it'll just look incorrect to you, and that's when you have to pull out your eraser and change it and think to yourself whether or not it's something that should actually go there, because these muscles are organic shapes at the end of the day, so they can take on any form, but they still need a sense of realism to them to make it believable. So if you place the striations completely incorrectly, it'll take away the believability of the shape and it will not look the way you want it to. So you can see me putting in a few more striations, and for those, they actually work, so those are the ones I'm going to keep. Now I'm going to shadow in the brachialis muscle. The bottom will be turning away from the light, so I'm shadowing that part in. The very bottom pointed part will also be shadowed in because that is turning into the arm and ultimately away from the light. Now we're going in with a few extensor muscles. The extensor muscles, I kind of just shade the muscles as if they're really elongated football shapes, almost like spaghetti, because they're extensor muscles, and then I just shade the side that turns away from the light. Here we go with the other side of the arm. As you can see, the bicep casts a big shadow across the forearm because it protrudes out over the forearm. This arm actually follows the lighting that I did earlier with the three-dimensional structure. You guys can pause the video, look back at it first for a quick few seconds, and you'll kind of see that my shading is based off of that, except for there are a lot more bumps in this one compared to the last one. Now I think I'm gonna go shadowing the hand, and the fingers are turned downwards, and I think this is something I learned from Jim Lee. If it's facing away from the light, everything's shadowed in, so it creates a sense of depth, and it just shows that it's turned away instead of going towards the light. So the whole bottom of the hand is going to be shadowed in. Now I'm going in with a few knuckles and extensors, making sure I render those out so they look three-dimensional and it doesn't just look like a line on the hand. This is where I do things just like the striations. I play around with a few shapes, see if they look correct. If they do look correct, I'll leave it. If they don't look correct, I'll take it out, because for the forearm, there's a lot of guesswork, at least for me, because the extensors, they're just like a huge group of muscles, and there's a lot of striations that can go on over there. So it's kind of just up to you what looks right. And over there, I realized I put a shadow facing towards the light, so I went ahead and erased that out. And let's see. Oh, and you can't have a superhero arm without veins. Everyone knows buff, muscular guys need to have veins. So I'm going in right now. I'm drawing in the lines that indicate where the veins are gonna go, and you'll see later, I'll take out my eraser. I'll actually do a full tutorial just with the eraser, so you guys know what it's like, but I draw the lines and I erase those lines so that there's the light hitting them, and afterwards I will shade the vein away from the light. So I'm going in right now, I'm shading in the right side of the vein. This kind of creates a little shadow, and even though I'm not drawing the entire vein, you can see that it kind of shows that there's a vein just by the negative space. And honestly, negative space is something that's really important, especially in comics, because you can't just draw every single line, otherwise it starts to flatten out. Now I'm going in with the veins on the forearm, just kind of shadowing whatever's underneath, because the light source is from above, and I want to get shadow on the bottom of the vein. And you can see me put little dots at the end. This kind of is just extra detail. You don't have to do it, but for me, I think it's the extra detail that's needed to make something more convincing and believable. It shows that the vein actually wraps around the arm and pops out and isn't just something that is flat. I also added a little vein onto the hand. I thought that was a nice touch, a little bit extra detail. And if you look at your hand, most people, well not most people, but a lot of people have veins on their hands, so it's just something that you can add if you want. I think right now I am about done. I'm just going in fixing up a few of the shadows, because with the graph gear I don't always get the shadows right, or shadows completely covered in the first time. Now I'm going in and shadowing the pectoral muscle just to add a few more details, and then we will be about done with the arm. I'm just tightening up a few of the lines right now because I want some of the lines to be darker than the others. But yeah. that is about it. So there we have it, you guys. If you followed my steps, this should be pretty easy. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. This video shout out goes to Carlos Cortez. If you want to win a shout out too, all you have to do is be part of the notification squad by subscribing, turning on post notifications, and letting me know down in the comments when you're done. Anyways, I'm doing a lot more tutorials like this. Make sure you check out my other tutorials. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video because I'm posting every single day. I will see you guys next time. Bye.